All right, coming to the stage now, an incredible student, an incredible person. I'm so happy she took the class. Amy Bennett.
I went to Pepperdine University in Malibu, and I graduated in the early 90s. So all my friends were talking about graduation and what they were going to do, and most of them were going to go to LA and get a job. LA was 20 minutes away. So my friend Michelle and I said to each other, that's so boring. We do better than that. You know, we're cooler than that. So she knew about a program where you could get a visa to go to London for 6 months and work. So we told everyone, we're going to London. Are you going to LA? That's nice. We moved to Manhattan Beach. That's nice. We're going to go to London. Yeah. So at the end of the summer, we realized we told everyone we were going to go to London, and so we figured we better get those visas and get our bags packed and go, because we didn't really have any other choices. So the next thing we know, we're outside of Heathrow Airport with a trolley piled as high as our heads of suitcases, because this wasn't backpacking in Europe. This was, we're going to get a job. It was serious. And we kind of looked at each other and said, what are we doing? So we went to the hostel and they said, you didn't tell us you were coming, so we don't have any room. We had to get a hotel and try to find another hostel. And we had basically 3 things we were going to do. We needed to get a flat, we needed to get a job, and we wanted to date some British men. Those were our 3 goals. This was pre-internet, so basically looking for a flat and looking for a job consisted of us going to one of those red London phone booths and standing inside it with the want ads and the classifieds and making all these phone calls and trying to figure out what money went in. And we went out to some far-reaching places and looked at a lot of bedsits, which any of you who've been to London know that a bedsit is basically a room with a bed that you can sit on. And if you're lucky, you have a mini fridge. And the bathroom's down the hall, and everybody on the floor shares it. So we were from Malibu, we were so spoiled, and we said, no. Eventually there was an ad in a shop window, and we found a flat in South Kensington, which was a pretty nice area. So we took it, we got 2 roommates from Florida, very nice girls, and they worked at Harrods. And we paid the landlord in cash every week. We didn't ask any questions, but cash, okay, sure, every week, no problem. So we also got a couple of jobs through temp agencies. My friend had a business degree, so she went to some sort of financial institution. And I had a degree in international affairs. I don't know, I got a job at a PR firm. So that seemed okay. And we sort of settled in to our different jobs. And I worked for Godfrey Blakely and Martin Blaine. And I learned a lot about class structure. And I also worked for a guy named Nick Haginikos, and he was of Greek extraction and British. And he was a bit of a pervert, which I didn't realize at first. But I would stand at his desk while he gave me instructions on what to do, and his hand would be going up the back of my leg, up my skirt. And it's hard to be professional when you're like this. But we became friends. And I realized later why he had the nickname Nick Haginikos. pretty apropos. But I got along better with the guys in the mailroom because they were a little more down to earth. And they liked to make fun of me by imitating my accent. I couldn't understand their accents. They couldn't understand mine. So they would say, hey, how's it going? And I said, I'm not from the South. But they were convinced that they were doing a spot-on impression. And then they also had to explain that when I asked them, oh, what did you do last night? And they said, oh, rub-a-dub-dub down the froggy toad, or something like that. And I was like, what? Oh, yeah, we went to the pub down the road. Oh, okay, Cockney slang, but how was I supposed to know? Meanwhile, back at the flat, things started to go downhill just a bit. The landlord decided that he had to bring the flat up to code, so he had to put in a fire door, and he had to make the bathtub area accessible to everybody. So first the fire door. It was a very small flat with a mirrored column in the middle of the foyer. So once he put the fire door in, it meant you had to come into the flat, close the door, turn around, open the fire door, come in and close it. And then you were like back to back with a mirrored column. So if you had bags, it was a 10-minute ordeal. And so we didn't really care for that too much. And then he decided that since there were 2 bathrooms but only 1 bathtub, he had to block up our bedroom access to the bathtub, cut a hole in the hall, and create a new door, which, you know, okay, fine, whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do. Closed up the access from the bedroom, cut a new door, and then put a sheet up. So during this time, the Florida girls had gone back to Florida, because they had boyfriends back there, and we had gotten 3 new roommates, French people. We assumed they wanted to live with us and they seemed to pay their rent. We didn't speak much French, they didn't speak much English, so everything was a little bit, you know, lots of hand gestures and so forth. And it was a boyfriend and a girlfriend and their single friend. The 3 of them were going to sleep in the tiny, bright yellow bedrooms. Fine, you want to do that? Fine. Pay your rent, fine. The couple had a lot of fights, so there was a lot of screaming in French, a lot of awkwardness. And sometimes we'd be trying to sleep and they'd be banging pots on each other in the kitchen. Not on each other's heads, but so we'd get up in the morning and our pots would be like figure-8 shaped. You know, we'd be trying to make our breakfast. And the girl was bulimic as well. But instead of throwing up in their bathroom, she threw up in our bathroom, which was now sort of everyone's bathtub as well. And so we'd come home from a long day at work, all we wanted to do was take a bath, and we'd go in there and there would be throw up in our toilet, pretty much on a daily basis. Okay, well, just flushed it. Don't ask, what's the word for bulimia in French? I don't know, I don't think we can help this girl, even though she clearly wants us to. So, one night I woke up and Michelle and I had beds that were like this, so our heads were next to each other. One night I woke up and Christophe, a single French guy, had come into my room late at night. We'd all been out drinking, and it was now time to pass out. But he thought that he would kneel at the head of my bed and tell me for about 20 minutes how much he loved me in French. And, you know, French was really hard for me in college, so I tried to communicate that you must adore me now, but he didn't really get the message, and he was just insistent that from the minute he saw me, he fell in love, and he was kind of a ladies' man, so part of me was like, what the hell, and part of me was like, oh, my God, all right, no, it's just, no. Michelle was right there, get out of here, go away. So eventually, I think we finally reached a détente. And I never brought it up again. I never spoke to him about it again. We just went on living as if nothing had happened. And Michelle was like, thanks for keeping me up, you know, all night. One thing we tried to do and failed pretty soundly was to date British men. We're going to all the clubs, going to all the bars, trying to strike up conversations with British people. And it was just not. We could have stood naked in the bar and it wouldn't have made any difference. Once they found out we were Yankees too, it was pretty much all over. And I'm like, okay. And it's just a different way, it's a different pickup scene, I'll put it that way. One time we got a guy to drive us home, and we thought, yes, cute guy, he's going to ask us for our phone number. So eventually I just said, look, do you want our phone number or what? And kind of like, yeah, okay. So of course he didn't call us. We're like, what are we doing wrong? We're just, you know, this is not going well. So I eventually started dating an Irish guy. Irish guys are pretty cool. They like Americans. All right. I met him at a party. Okay, good. I thought he said his name was Eddie. Short for Edward? I don't know. So I gave him a call, and later I found out that his roommates really, really made fun of him because I called him Eddie, and his name is actually 80, short for Adrian. But according to him, Adrian is a poofter name. So don't call me Adrian. Don't even mention Adrian. It's 80. Okay, whatever, 80, sure, fine. And he was a stereotypical Irish guy, and he liked to drink a lot of the time. So his friends would also make fun of him for the time he got in a fight, and got so enraged with this guy that he went to headbutt him. And he headbutted him, and his own forehead split open, and he just bled all over himself. And so the joke was, don't get Amy mad at you, he might bleed on you. And he was very fond of getting in fights and carrying on. One time I had a party at my flat, and all my friends came, friends from work, American friends, and he threw up all over the kitchen table. And my friends were like, nice boyfriend. And then he fell down, not one flight of stairs, but 2 flights of stairs, and lay in the fetal position. So everyone that was leaving the party walked by him down in front of the neighbor's door. And I had to carry him to the taxi, reassuring the taxi driver he was not going to throw up in the cab. And then I had to prevent him from kicking his own door in because we had keys. You don't need to kick the door in if you got keys. So that was really fun. Basically, we learned a lot, I think, about ourselves and our ability to attract men, which wasn't quite what we thought it was going into the whole thing. One of the lessons was really driven home when we went to Kinky Girlinky. And that was the Studio 54 of London in the early 90s. It's a big drag show, the Leicester Ballroom. And so once there, we realized that, we knew it was a drag show, but no one was going to look at us, with these fantastic drag queens on stage. They were just stunning. And I had my silver Mylar dress on, and Michelle had her skin-tight red velvet. No. There was no way. Men look way better in miniskirts than women do, that's just a fact. And so we had to sort of say, all right, chalk this one up to an interesting experience. At the end of my 6 months, my visa was up. I said, all right, it's time to leave London. I need a job, I need a career, I gotta get serious about my career, no more of this, dreaming and clubbing and being crazy stuff. I'm gonna move to New York City.